Hello there, welcome to this cheeky little bonus episode on the Rover P4. I do always read your comments, you know, I really do, and like I saw some from the last video that said, we're not bored of seeing the Rover. I mean, I'm not bored of seeing it, but you were like, oh, we're not bored of seeing the Rover, you know, we'd happily watch another episode on the Alternator and stuff. Here it is then. So I hope I can get to everything from up here, all the nuts and bolts and stuff, which I think I might be able to. Now this car never had an alternator originally, it had a dynamo, so I don't know what alternator this is. So we're going to give it a pull out. There is just one little thing I want to try first though. Someone said in the comments of the last video, try hitting it with a hammer. I've never tried hitting an alternator with a hammer, but I have tried hitting lots and lots of things with hammers, and 90% of the time it's worked and has fixed them. So why not try this? It takes 2 seconds. Let's give it a go. Oh, listen to that. What an absolute dream of a thing. So as we can see, the bolts are dropping. Sadly, hitting it with a hammer did not work. Might work on others though. I've got another car with a dead alternator there that I might try that on. But anyway, doesn't work, so we need to get this alternator out. Okay, first things first, I can't see I can't see anything. So, how's that held on? Oh wow, okay. Oh wow, oh wow. That nut was hand tight. That one didn't take much persuading either. Now the wires off the back of this alternator do go into the original charging circuit for the car, which would have gone through that voltage regulator at the back there. That's what the dynamo does and all this sort of stuff, overcharging and things. However, I'm not too worried about that circuit because this alternator in my ownership has worked. There's been quite a few times where I've been getting a good charging voltage off it, and I did check the other day and I went back through some footage. I was just like, did I? Has it ever worked? And yeah, it has worked, so it must be all right in some places. So I am hoping it is just goosed and we just put a new one on and it'll work, but I guess we'll find out, eh? This is held on by, I think, a 4-foot threaded bar. It is the most annoying way of doing something in the world. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to do this without taking the radiator out. This is stupid, absolutely stupid. Can I take the entire bracket off at the top? I would love to meet the person that took this car over after it was in such a nice state and turned it into what it is now, because I'd like to meet them and I'd like to, I don't know, maybe put some matchsticks in the toenails or something, set them on fire, that type of thing. Sounds pretty reasonable to me. This absolutely sucks. Oh, finally. Okay. So this is the alternator that was on there, some sort of Bosch B11 or something like that. I'm going to build a little test rig, or Rob's coming over shortly. He could build a little test rig for it, couldn't he? He likes that sort of thing. But as you can see, it's had quite big chunks sort of cut out of it in places to make it fit. So, I mean, we could probably do that to the majority of alternators if I could find one like that. It's a shame I haven't got a car around here that's going to scrap and I could have nicked the alternator off it. But anyway, actually, it's just made me think. Hello? What's this? Oh, Aled, my mate, gave me this a little while ago. It was sat in his dad's garage being unused. And I wonder if I could just bolt that on. Interesting, okay. I think it's a new unit. Or it was a new unit a long time ago. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Big and small poles there. When Rob turns up, I'm going to ask him nicely, see if he wants to build us a little test rig for alternators, and then we can sort of see if that one works, if that one doesn't, and if this one works, let's see if we can try and fit it. Because the belts, you know, it's the same sort of V-type ribbed belt. It's got all the potential in the world, this, hasn't it? And imagine saving all that money. Because alternators, you're looking anywhere from between sort of 50 to 100 quid, aren't you? So, happy days. Okay, right.
Afternoon, viewers. Long time no see. Hope you're all doing all right.
Bob's built a test rig.
What madness have I been roped into here?
So, we want to find out if this one was actually goosed, but also if this one will work, and then we'll worry about making it fit in the engine bay, because I'm not sure it will, because I don't know if it's going to clear the belt and stuff. But anyway,
so we've MacGyvered a little test rig together here. So we've essentially got 12 volts from a battery. Hello. Multimeter, so we can see that the battery is providing power.
Yeah, I didn't know this multimeter had a stand either.
Didn't you?
No.
See, it was worth me coming down today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we've got 12 volts to the alternator now, and the way your alternator works is you have a connection on the vehicle, which comes off the back of the B post positive terminal on the back here. This is your main battery charge, and then you have a secondary circuit which goes to your bridge rectifier, and when you connect this is your alternator light on your dashboard, and it lights up. So that demonstrates that we've got a circuit.
So that was the red light on the dash in the Rover.
Correctamundo.
So, well, I hope it was that.
So if this alternator is functioning correctly, when we spin this bad boy up, this light should dim and ultimately go out as the RPM of the alternator increases. So without further ado, my glamorous assistant here.
Let's do it. Okay, so I'll spin clockwise.
Spinning.
And the light is still on. Because we did think this one was goosed, so we're kind of trying to confirm that it is goosed. And as you can see on the multimeter there, dim gubod lucky.
Yes, he greased.
Alternator is kaput.
Okay, right. So we'll see you in a sec. We're going to mock up the other alternator now and see what we get with that one. We're back.
So
with a new alternator.
Yeah, well, the new alternator I found in the back of the truck. So we've got a light on.
Hook the circuit up again, so all lit up. And now, with a bit of luck, she's dimming. She's dimming. Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Success.
I don't think this is spinning it up enough, but hopefully it's spinning it up enough for us to see.
Yeah.
So we're going to see if this one will fit on the Rover now, if we can start it up and if it turns the light off and charges the battery. After a frankly ungodly amount of messing about, we've got this thing in, this new one. Lots of different wiring and connections and bolts, and hours and hours later, it's in.
Why did we do this to ourselves?
Battery test, put this on, see if anything explodes. Maybe my back. Okay. Let's try and keep that out of the way if we can, please. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Anything on fire? No?
Nothing yet. It's a good sign, isn't it? Hey. All good? All good?
There is no light on the dash. Have a look.
Aha, fixed.
What's the volts thing saying down there?
Which one's the volts? Oh, just under 13 volts.
Oh, come on, let's have a look. She sounds really good as well, doesn't she? Really nice.
Beautiful.
How amazing is that? I found this alternator in the back of the truck. I was going to buy a new one. I completely forgot I had it. I was only reminded the other day when Alex said. And I would fixed it for completely free.
Yeah. Cheers, Alan.
What a result. Do you want to go for a spin in it?
Damn right. Can't do all this work and not go for a spin. Do you know what else amazes me for a car that's been laid up for so long? Turn the heater on and then it's pretty nice and toasty in here, isn't it?
There is heat coming out of this area. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
I think it's like this little thingy-majiggy, isn't it?
It's coming out of somewhere, surely.
It's nice and toasty.
It is warm. It is actually warm. This is like a comfortable car. I'm going to go home in this tonight, decided.
Yeah.
What a great machine. Oh, better if I took the handbrake off though.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, power's
power.
back.
Oh.
It's nice not to see that red light. That handbrake light does flash every now and then because the switch sensor is a little bit dicky, but
Can't have it all.
can't have it all.
So we're going to do a bit of a Tasty Classics Tower of Power 0 to 60 here now.
Yeah, not here.
Do you reckon we can make it by the end of the drive?
No, I reckon you'd get to 42.
Should we try it?
Okay.
And stop?
No, because I think Charles watches these, and if he sees us doing that, I might get kicked out.
Oh yeah.
Faster, isn't it? Should probably do it without
Rapid.
overdrive as well for maximum acceleration.
Yeah, boy. I reckon this feels faster than the Copen.
Oh god, yeah, 100%. I can't wait to see where it's going to be on the board, but I reckon it's not going to do too badly.
It's not, is it?
Oh wow, it feels good. It's so smooth as a car. Doesn't that engine sound really smooth?
It does.
Rev counter stopped working for some reason.
It's back. Fixed.
Oh yeah, it's working now.
Doing like 3 or 4,000 up.
Yeah, one of those two. Overdrive. Beautiful thing.
Incredible.
It's mad, isn't it? Because I was saying on the last video that this is very similar to the Panhard in age.
It is.
The difference between the two, in terms of like how things have held together and like, you know, the dare I say it, build quality. The Panhard was great, but everything did fall apart when you touched it, you know. Whereas this feels very, very solid.
To be fair, they both wanted to live, haven't they? I think that's just a testament to old school engineering.
Yeah, and I can't wait to park this next to the Panhard.
Can you imagine in like 70 years time when people are like digging a Mark 8 Golf out of the ditch?
Yeah, Mark 8 Golf GTI.
Yeah.
As a barn find. God, she drives.
She rolls, doesn't she?
She does.
She rolls. Look at that. On the road.
She's a bit of a thing, isn't she?
She's a beaut. Turned some heads anyway, didn't she?
Absolutely.
Rolling through the village.
We've got ourselves some Red Bull and bananas because we're
really
healthy guys now. None of these pasties.
No, them days are long gone.
Yeah, gotta try and be good. Right, okay, there you go. Let's go and find a quiet road, eh?
It's going to...
I wasn't worried. Why were you worried?
Were you worried, viewers?
No.
Whoa! Easy, Tiger.
I feel like you can sort of like really use the car, really sort of just not. I know with a lot of classic cars, you've got to be a little bit. You've got to pussyfoot around them a little bit and be like, oh, I don't want to break this, I don't want to hurt this, don't want to hurt that. But this does feel like you can kind of do what you want. And
She goes really nicely, to be fair.
it's just going to put up with it. I mean, you know, everything's been rewired. I've done, you know, doing the stuff with the ballast resistor and things. It's just made it into such a smooth running car.
It is.
And putting it back to points. Just love points. You know, points can be perfect, and you can always find out what's wrong when you've got points. Using all the AccuSpark smoke and mirrors and stuff, you just can't do it. You know.
No.
It's always a guessing game.
It's just always a recipe for disaster in my book.
Yeah, that never ever had good experience.
3, 2, 1, go!
Wheel spin start.
Yeah, boy!
Come on! Oh, we're in overdrive! Back! Oh, let's compare the two. Go on, get ready on the stopwatch and stop.
20.34 seconds.
Oh yes, what a thing.
What a machine. Are we going to try that again without overdrive?
Yeah. Just wait for a quiet stretch. God,
It's like the whole of Cheshire have just decided to come out.
Right, so what was that one? 20 seconds.
20.34 with overdrive.
We've got 20.34 to beat without overdrive.
3, 2, 1, go!
God, that's wheel spinning.
Left a set of 11s in the lay-by.
Really did. And stop.
21.13.
Oh, but there was a bit of wheel spin.
There was.
Do you reckon we should try and get one more?
Yeah,
Okay.
downhill. What do you reckon for the third run, viewers?
The start was too, it was too aggressive. The wheel spin, it was just,
Can we get a sub 20 second 0 to 60?
It's hard, getting the power down, you know what I mean? It's a powerful car. Torquey machine.
Optimum clutch bite point, that's what you need, isn't it?
Yeah, which is very difficult to find.
She just blew us along so nice.
She loves it, absolutely loves it.
Oh man, that heater, I cannot tell you guys. So it's about 6 degrees out today. Hence the hats are on. And yeah, my feet are like, oh yes, loving this.
It's super toasty. I know as well, really good. I think everything works.
It does. Glorious old girl.
Out of overdrive, count me down.
3, 2, 1, go! Yeah, you ready? Still climbing. Still climbing.
And stop.
17.81.
Come on, you beauty. What a fast car.
I think that's because she's up to temperature now, isn't she?
She's up to temperature, everything's smooth. There was no wheel spin.
Yeah.
There was a lot of wheel spin last time, and it was, double wheel spin.
Optimum launch that time.
Yeah, the tyres are now warm. Tyres are up to temperature. Yeah, right. So there I was, minding my own business, scrolling Facebook and having a look at some of the wonderful comments that you guys leave on some of my posts. And then a guy called Nick Stones piped up in the comments and said, that thing is crying out for some race decals, some bonnet straps, that kind of stuff, So I immediately opened eBay and spent a stupid amount of money on lots of things to make this thing look like a race car. Is there something wrong with me? Or is this like normal behaviour? Anyway, I've never done that before. I thought it'd be quite fun. I've also gone and bought some green paints that I can roll on because I've never done that before. And what a perfect place to try. So that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, we've got one more mechanical gremlin that we need to get out of the way, and that is the fuel tank. I can't have it running off the boat tank all the time. We need to get this thing running off its fuel tank. And luckily for me, the engineers at Rover have thought of something. So this is a fuel tank here. Now, annoyingly for me, this is the filler neck here, and it goes in at a right angle, and then there's another right angle up there where it sort of comes out the body. So getting a little inspection camera in there is not easy, because it's just going to hit the end of that and it's not going to go where I want it to. However, there is that there, which I think is the sender and everything for the level. I could go in there if I like. However, Rover, in their infinite wisdom, I've put a drain plug right on the bottom of the tank. So what I can do is I can get a nice clear bottle, crack that open and see what comes out of it, and then that's going to tell us what the tank's like inside. I'm very excited to sort of see what this thing's going to look like. I've been looking at all the chrome work and stuff as well, and I just can't leave it like that. It's given me, well, it wouldn't take much to just make it nice, you know? So I'm going to go around it and clean all that up, get all the paint off it so it's nice and shiny again, because it's all there. All the badges and stuff, you know. It should look really good. And I've got Cars and Coffee coming up on Sunday, and I'm taking this. Right, let's get a bottle and get a spanner on that. Okay, are we ready to see what comes out of here? What colour do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to look like petrol or not? I'm going to say not. How fast do you think it's going to come out? Oh God. Ah, down my arm. Oh God. Ah. Oh, bloody thing. Okay, I'm back in. Oh, down my arm and everything. Ah. Ah, get in. Clean up on aisle I'm a moron. However, good news. This is beautiful crystal clear fuel, if I can get my words out, with like 0 bits. Can we get like an inside shot? Oh wow, super special. Very, very nice, very, very clear. If there was any crap, it would have come out of there, because that's the lowest point of the tank. So I'm going to reconnect the fuel stuff, and I'm just going to sort of keep the boat tank in the boot for an emergency, but fingers crossed it's going to be all right. It's incredible how well this thing runs and how easy it starts. It's been sat for a few days and it's like 4 degrees. It's went bang straight into life. Really, really impressive. I'm now going to start sorting some of this chrome bits out, and that's the last I can touch this until my parts arrive. Here's a little look at the chrome on this car. As you can see, it's just been painted over everywhere, and it just ruins it. You can see it from a mile away. Hey, look at that. He could, you know, he couldn't have masked these up. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. I've been looking at different ways to sort of clean this up, and I think the best thing to do is either thinners or a little bit of light sandpaper. This here is horrendous. I'm very tempted to chuck some filler on it and just give it a very basic sort of dual action polisher sand down, just to make it look that little bit nicer, because you've got that bit there, everything else is pretty straight, and you've also got this bit here. This bit here, stop trying to move. And this bit here, I could very easily just put a skim of filler over these, get the DA on it, and just sort of give it a real nice sort of cut down. It might take me a little bit of time, but if I can get all of this done by the end of the day, it's going to be worth it, I think, isn't it? I've been going at this with thinners for a little bit now, and I've sort of worked out per square inch this might take me about 3 weeks. This paint is obviously designed not to come off, and the thinners, it's like, imagine trying to rub this down to bare metal. Just using thinners, you're going to be there all day. I'll show you. just doesn't want to come off at all. Just isn't doing anything, which is a bit of annoying. It is in place, but this is a tiny little bit compared to what else is on the car. It's just nicked. Cool. So what's plan B? Well, plan B does involve sanding, which is one of the best ways to take paint off things. Now, look at the difference in the speed of this. So there you go, massively quicker. The only issue being is that it does dull the chrome down a bit, obviously. But there's not a lot else I can do. It's gonna look a million times better like that than like that. I haven't got time to get it all off with thinners. So, cue the music, let's get to work. So I've just changed now from using 600 grit sandpaper to using 1000 on the little rotary. Now these, they weren't cheap, but I mean, I totally recommend them, because what's happening now is instead of sort of dulling it down, it's actually polishing it, and looks great from your house, doesn't it? Right, so I'm going to continue doing that over all these bits. I've also put a skimmer filler on all the bits that I need to, so we can run a machine over those later on. But let's see here now. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit dull. Let's see if we can bring a shine back to it. I mean, look at that, that's incredible. Brought the shine back immediately. So yeah, get yourself one of these, it's a great little tool. We've got shiny chrome again, love it. I'll just get some filler on my jeans, no I didn't. Right, okay. that took ages. You know, everybody that sort of gets up and goes and works on cars, you know, just gets some sort of enthusiasm for them. They all deserve praise in my book, apart from whoever was the last owner of this car. Fuck that guy. I'm so done with the bullshit on this car. His runs, he'd made sure to give them 3 coats. The overspray, he'd made sure to overspray them 3 times. Just so thick in places. Utter just lack of any sort of care or anything, you know. Anyway, right, I'm gonna get the DA out and I'm gonna start to give these bits of sand down and we'll see what that looks like. Got my polisher set up, no messing about with this one, we're straight onto the 120. Let's gouge some holes in this mother flipper. Now as you can see, this is already run city and rough as toast. All I want to do is just get a bit of a key into it. I'm not going to get this perfectly flat because you've still got the top that needs doing, but if I try and make a real nice job of this, at least the next owner could maybe just mask the bottom bit off and concentrate on the top, you know. Who knows? Sort of one panel out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I've done. It's about an hour later. It's all right though, nice and flat. Should look okay. Maybe a little bit more there. Why? What have I started? Okay. This absolutely sucks. It's so just brushed on any which way direction. It's like a big bumpy road all over it. I'm trying to do the best I can. I mean, it's going to look a lot better like. Hopefully this nice sort of flattish substrate now is going to be enough to make whatever I do look good, you know, or look half decent anyway. Maybe take your eye off the other crap bits, but that took absolutely forever. It's almost 6 o'clock. My back is like a question mark, and yeah, I'm gonna give everything a blow off, including myself, and I'm going to let the dust settle, and tomorrow morning we'll give everything a good tidy up and a good clean, and then, I don't know, might still be waiting for bits. Bits might have arrived, who knows? But I'm pretty happy I've done that. It's going to be nice just to get that on, and I'm hoping a good sort of substrate, a good bit of bodywork, when you do the roller in on top, I'm hoping that's going to make it look good. So, I don't know, but we might as well give it a try, innit? Right, see you in a few seconds. It's the next day, and the paint's arrived. I've spent the morning just chucking a bit of primer in places where there was any sort of bare metal and stuff, and where there was filler, because paint sometimes doesn't like going directly over filler. Bit of masking down there, still need to mask all these bits at the top, but we're looking good. I'm then going to give it a big clean down, and then this primer looks slightly different because it's actually zinc weld through primer, which should work absolutely fine. And the only reason I used this on this side is quite simply because I ran out of the other primer in spray cans, and I'm not going to get one of my paint guns out to sort of, you know, mix up a tiny little bit of primer, so hopefully this will be fine. I'm all masked up all over. It's going to look all right, this, you know. Fingers crossed. From a distance, in the dark, behind a wall, it's going to look great. Right then, let's have a look at these. I got these from Palatine Paints. Heard a lot of good things about them. This whole setup here was about 30 quid delivered, which is pretty good, really. Nice soft rollers to get in all the bits. I don't know, I've never done this before, I'm literally just winging it. I've always painted cars with guns and just like rattle cans and stuff. I've never rolled anything on, but I'm willing to give it a try for fun, mainly. And to hopefully improve the lifespan of this lovely Rover. Now look, if I'm begging you again, talking about subscribers, fuck. If you get an opportunity to just jump out the video and hit the subscribe button, that would help me massively. And it would help me bring you fabulous content like using the paint guns and really transforming cars and making pristine paintwork, which I do enjoy doing, but the only problem is they take so long to do, and it's hard to make it interesting when you're spending 12 hours sanding a car. But honestly, if you want to see them, I will do that. I've got a Triumph Spitfire in there that I'm waiting to do a real nice paint job on. So that's probably next. So if you want to see stuff like that and more resurrections and things, just hit that subscribe button, it would really help. And as well, if you want to spend a couple of quid to help me buy stuff like this, there's a Patreon link in the description. I do have a Patreon, and I put videos on there of great stuff like going to pick cars up and extra behind the scenes bits. And if you could go on there and just, you know, chuck us a few quid and view all these extra bits of videos that I create for you, I would be very grateful. But you don't have to. Just hitting the subscribe button, leaving me a like and a comment would help as well. Right, what colour have we gone for here? Oh my God. Look at that. What do you think? Super, super cool. Oh, that looks really nice. Really, really nice. Now, this is just a sort of a one stage enamel coach paint. You roll it on and you sort of run away, come back the next day and hope that it looks half decent. And I think that's pretty cool. Love this colour. Now the reason I've picked this colour is because it was sort of a homage to what this car looked like once upon a time in this picture. And I kind of wanted to make it look like something of its previous self, you know? Okay, should we do this then? Right, let's start here. God, it's going on a lot thicker than I thought it was going to. So I've laid this on and I can see quite a few bubbles sort of popping. Now, I'm going to leave this just for sort of 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes, and just see what happens. I'm not just going to hit the car straight away. I just want to see what happens to this one little patch here, how it sort of looks, how it sits. Does it sort of dry a bit flatter than it is now? Do these bubbles disappear? And then it's going to work out how I attack the rest of it. Do I put a thicker layer on to start with? I might do another little test bit here of just quite thick, and we'll see which one looks better. And then I can do the rest of the car then, you know. It is also worth mentioning as well that I've been over the whole thing with panel wipe, just to sort of get all the contaminants and all the crap off as well. And if you don't do that, if you don't attack it with some sort of cleaning agent, you will get bad reactions. Do you want to wait with me while we wait? Should we just stare at it, watch paint dry? Probably more interesting than the stuff I usually do on this channel, isn't it? So while we're waiting for the sort of test patches to really sort of set and we can sort of work out what it's going to look like, I thought we'd do something a little bit fun and start with the sort of racing car transformation. I'm really excited about this. Sorry about that. Pick that up. Really excited about this. This is going to be super cool. I can't wait to see what it looks like. Oh wow. Right, what should we do first? Now look, any sort of, I don't know, old racing car that looks like it's about to be driven to Le Mans or south of France or something needs a UK sticker on the back. And this is the first sticker we're going to put on the car. That stuff I just wiped on it then was some of that panel wipe again, just to help this stick. First sticker on the car. So excited. Should we do another one just there? No, I think one's good. One will look all right. Another, because I've got two. I'll save that for something else. Here's the next thing. Like some sort of, I don't know, rally car or something. You know, like when they do those rallies, like London to Brighton and things. I'd love to go on one of those one day. I just need like a lot more time on my hands, I think. And I don't know. I think that's it, isn't it? I'll have to look for one. Right. So, which one goes first? It goes flag and then T Classics, doesn't it? It doesn't go flag first. Right, let's get the flag on. I'm so excited about this. Is this the right one? Now I've gone for T Classics instead of B Molesworth, because I might sell this car on and then obviously it's Tasty Classics name on it then, you know, which would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But they could always take that off and put their own name on it, can't they? If they wanted to. Right, let's get this sort of lined up perfectly with that. This is harder than it looks. Oh, I like it. I like it. Oh my God, is this the best thing I've ever done so far this week? I love it. This is brilliant. This is great fun. I want more stickers to arrive. That's all that's arrived so far, but we'll keep adding them as they come through the post. Amazing. What do you think of that? Proper duty, that, isn't it? Right, let's do the one on the other window. So where are we up to? with these 4 test panels. Let's go through them and see what's what. Also, I put that sticker on the car when I put that one on because that's the best record shop in the world, tastyrecords.co.uk. If you ever buy any of my cool hats and stuff, you'll know that that's where you're going. It directs you to a record shop and they deal with all my merch because they're the best. So this is my favourite one so far, and it's very different to the others, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, this was the very, very light brush. Now what's happened is I've ended up with loads of tiny little bits. Now I don't know if that's from the roller or what, but I've ended up with tiny little bits. And now where I haven't, it is pretty smooth. It is pretty nice. Now this one is where I laid down a similar thin coat and then I finished it with a brush. And I'm telling you that because it's something that I've just learned. And this one here is where I laid it down just with the roller, quite thick. And yeah, I mean, it's come out okay, but again, not as something has landed in it as well, which is sad. I think it used to be a fly. And yeah, I mean, it looks okay, but it's sort of just, again, very, very bumpy and, I don't know, a bit grim. Now, this one, which has only been on for a few moments, sort of 5 minutes, is my favourite one so far. And I'll tell you how I've achieved this, and I'm hoping that it's going to dry a little bit flatter because it's still very, very wet. I only put it on a few moments ago. So I watched a couple of videos and all this sort of stuff, and a lot of people were saying you roll it on and then you finish it with the brush. So you're getting this sort of effect, but you're laying it on quite thick, and then you're pulling it down, downward strokes with the brush. And you're doing that so it sort of self-levels and goes flat. So, okay, I see, maybe, okay. So what I'm thinking of doing is I quite like that. What about we do this whole panel now, remembering the bits where we obviously hadn't already done, go over it a bit thick with the brush, and then we'll come back to it and we'll see what it looks like. So if I could achieve that or better on a sort of roller and brush painted car, I'd be pretty happy, to be honest, you know. And because you're finishing it with a brush, you can sort of go whichever way you want. You don't have to sort of, you know, it's not like a house at home, a wall at home where you have to sort of maintain the same direction. Because you're finishing it with a brush, you can do it like this. Apparently, I'm no expert. I'm just telling you what I've seen on the internet and what I've read and my experience in doing. I've just left that little bit there and I'm not sure why, but I have. And this is what it said to do. Just pull the paint down like that. Overlapping. Now, I've got a little bit too much paint on the brush, I think, there, but it's sort of doing what I want it to do. You can already see it's looking quite nice down there. Any other runs or anything? I think that might be okay. I'm about 15-20 minutes in and I'm just having to sort of, I don't know if I need to or not, but I'm sort of battling runs, so I keep just sort of putting the paintbrush on. I did put this on quite thick, this coat, and maybe I should have put it on a bit thinner, so I've done a little thinner coat test panel there. This one though that I did originally is starting to look really sort of quite nice, and I think after a few more coats it looked really good. But this one, again, I think it's going to flatten. I don't know. I would like it to. I mean, that one sort of has, fingers crossed, this one's going to Just noticed a couple of runs in that I could do with brushing out. I mean, is that going to sort of flatten down? I don't know. This over here again, put on a little bit lighter, and it is starting to flatten down, but again, not amazing. It's interesting though, it's very, very interesting. You know, this is totally not my wheelhouse at all, but I'm enjoying it, you know, I'm enjoying just sort of trying something different. Spraying stuff, I just get such a mega finish out of. But, I mean, you know, I'll show you one of the cars I painted last properly, the Mini. I'll show you a little clip of that now. And yeah, I could have sprayed this, but the problem with spraying something is it gets everywhere. It's quite hard to sort of make look amazing. You've got to do lots of other sort of prep and stuff to it. You've got to make sure your surfaces are super flat. So like, it took me sort of a day to prepare this, or like half a day to prepare this for the roller painting. But if I was spray painting the bottom of this car, it would have taken me a good few days, and I haven't really got that time. You know, just to get it totally flat, perfect, loads of filling, flatting, you know. And yeah, it's probably not required. The Mini that I did was worth, you know, 20 grand, like this is probably worth 2. And so what do you reckon, like? Yeah, good? Happy? I mean, one coat's all over, and it's all right. I mean, it's just difficult to tell because, as I say, it's only had sort of one coat and it's not dry yet. Nothing's drying particularly well here because it's so bloody cold all the time. It's like 4 degrees. So might have to do some more coats tomorrow, or hopefully another one before I leave today. But lots of bits are coming up quite well and are going to look really good after another coat. Hi, it's sort of almost 24 hours later, and sat next to me here is a giant green saggy ball bag. Not ideal. So what's happened? Well, I've got the runs. I've got the runs in a big way, and in some places this paint looks great, but in many other places it doesn't. So what's happened? Well, it's too cold, man. It's like 4 degrees, it's pissing out, it's dead wet and damp in the air and everything. It was just no good. I was just not getting anywhere the sort of level of fast dryingness that I needed for it to stay on. It's a completely sheer vertical panel. Everything wants to run off. All along the top, along the edge, there's just big white gaps where the paint has just not stuck at all and has just rolled down, ran down. So, bit of an issue. It's now Thursday. I really want to take this thing to Cars and Coffee on Sunday. I'm not going to take it looking like this because I'll get laughed at. So I need to fix it. And to fix it, I need to sand it down and paint it again the way that I know how, which is with the spray gun. Where I can thin it down and do some magic with it and do lots of thin coats and stuff instead of just fucking slapping it on. I've never seen a car that looked good with coach paint. So I know there's coaches that have been painted with coach paint and things like that, but realistically they never look, you know, amazing. It's not like a nice finish that you'd have on a car, which is what I would like to see. So let me show you the bits that have gone wrong and the bits that have gone right. So as you can see, like here, I mean, if it all looked like that, just sort of rub a little few of the dimples out and give it a polish, that'd be absolutely great. I'd love that. But then you can see along the top, it's not too bad there, but in some other places it's quite bad. Like, I don't know if you can see sort of that there along the top. It's just really, really uncool, man. And then you've got So I tried to, this is another big problem we've got, I tried to sand that this morning to see how wet it was, and it's still so wet. The whole paint is just, it's just not drying, just doesn't want to dry at all, and I've got runs all up it. If it all looked like this, you know what I mean, I wouldn't be too bothered. It, you know, just like a bit of a ripple to it, I'd be like, yeah, fine, it's just coach paint, innit? Leave it alone. But the massive runs I just can't abide with. I can't be okay with it. They're just, you know, they're so pronounced, they're so big. And again, some of the panels have just come up so nice, and I was like, oh, I wish that'd be okay, but then there is quite bad runs and stuff in there. Just generally nicht cool. Now this one over here is by far the worst, because we did a few test bits on here and it just went on super thick. And again, I've tried to sort of blade some of these runs off this morning, and it's just so, look how soft it is. I could almost just, look at that. You know, this is almost 24 hours later. Really not cool. I'm wondering if it might be worth me just hitting that with some thinners or something and just trying to take it off that way. I might have a little go at that. How bizarre is this? I mean, I've never been able to just sort of scrape paint off a car like this. Totally bizarre. But it's going to massively help us get to that finish line by just taking a lot of this bulk off. So I'm going to go around and do as much of that as I can, and then the rest of it we can sort of leave to dry. I'll show you what it looks like once I've taken as much of it off as I can. It's pretty heartbreaking, isn't it? But it is what it is. That's pretty cool. So I've just scraped it off and put some thinners on it. And yeah, I'm going to leave this now to sort of set. All the stuff that was on there was never going to set. The rest of it though, I just tried to do a bit on there, and you can tell that is getting quite hard. So the rest of it I'm pretty confident is going to set. I might just sort of try this bit here. But the rest of it, I'm hoping by the end of the day, is going to be set enough for me to just do a light sand over the top and try and get it back to flat. And then I can just spray directly on top of that, which would be really nice, wouldn't it? The most wonderful discovery has been made. Now, so that's trying to get this paint off, you know, and sort of scraping away and all this sort of stuff. It takes a very long time, clogs everything up, it's a bit of a pain. But if I give it a quick coat of thinners, look at all this here. I mean, what a joy to behold. So what this means is that essentially I can remove most of this from the car fairly quickly. It's going to be a little bit messy, but if I can do this a bit faster, it means it's going to dry shed loads faster, and I can get the sander on it within a few hours, rather than having to potentially wait for 2 days, which would make a huge difference. It's quite a cool crackle effect. I should probably just leave this, shouldn't I? Or just scrape it all off. It's quite satisfying, this, really. Probably just take it outside and pressure wash it all off, shouldn't I? I'm roughly an hour into sort of cleaning all this green off, and yeah, I mean, it's working really well. I've just got this bit to do now, and then of course the other side. But what I'm thinking is, for the time it's going to take for this to dry, I may have been able to clean all this off, sand it back down and paint it again with the spray gun and see, you know, do some experimentation, see how that looks and all that sort of stuff before I start attacking the other side. So I might sort of do one side at a time here. And it's also going to help keep all the spray down to a minimum and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think I might do that. So I'm pretty much done with sanding this side and sort of getting it back to roughly where we were before. I just need to get up there and get a big bit of masking film, mask this whole thing up, get that out of here so I don't get that covered in green, and then yeah, start spraying. It's annoying as well because like I've sort of ran out of gloves at the worst possible opportunity. I've got no gloves and now it looks like I've been bloody tossing Shrek off or something. So yeah, bit of a pain in the arse, but it is what it is. You know, paint's only temporary on the skin, isn't it? Right, let's get up there, get a big film thing down and get this thing covered. Okay, can I stand on that? Possibly. Can I stand on this? Possibly. Oh God. Oh, nimble. Like a shrew. Just grab that for us. Okay. Okay. So. This is great stuff. It's not very expensive either, and it clings, which is awesome. Why is it? As it flips over? Hey! Where's the knife? Okay, so I'm gonna remask this side and a little bit around the bumper, and then just drape this side over. And it'll hopefully cling to it, you know? Okay, she's under wraps. We're ready to do some spraying. I've just got to give her a good wipe down with panel wipe. And then I'm going to prep the paint, my gun. I'm going to thin it down by, I don't know, 10% or something. I did look at this as well, and it says like don't thin it down, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. And it's just, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, whatever. I think if I had have thinned it down, it probably would have maybe done a little bit better than it did. Anyway, right, okay, let's get spraying. My weapon of choice today is the gun I usually use for lacquer. And I'm going to mix up, just to start with, I'm going to mix up, I don't know if you can see these numbers on there, probably 200 of paint, and then maybe 20 or 30 of thinners. And we're going to see what sort of consistency that gives us and if it's going to be enough to get through that nozzle. And then we're going to give it a very, very light dusting. First thing I've noticed is this thing thins really, really quickly, with a little amount of thinners at all. So, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, it might just be like light dusting city for a while, but I don't know. I've never sprayed enamel before, never done it. I don't know what it's going to be like. Let's give the old towel of truth a coat. It's pretty good. Right then. It looks like it's going on okay. sort of genuinely looks like it's gone on okay, and that's what I mean when I say a light dusting. I'm going to leave it like that, and then we'll come back to it and see what it looks like. Here's a little top tip. If you're interested in sort of what the paint's actually going to do on the panel and all this type of stuff, do yourself a thicker sort of coat over here, just on a bit of the cloth or whatever that isn't the paintwork. And then you can sort of monitor what a thicker coat will do. Is it running? Is it drying nicely? Is it drying wet? Is it going to have a good finish? All that sort of stuff. It's looking pretty good. Anyway, I need to mix up a little bit more paint, and then we're going to hit it again once 10 or 15 minutes past and it's had a chance to dry, or to flash off, as they say. Cool. Looks like it's drying pretty nice. So let's just do a ever so slightly heavier coat. And I truly mean ever so slightly heavier. Pretty good so far. No car should have to go through life with a brush painted finish. So looking really good. Bit of a heavier coat that time. I just want to let it sort of set a little bit more. I'm 3 coats deep. 4 coats, sorry. 4, you know, very light coats. And yeah, we're looking pretty good. I mean, I don't know how well it sort of comes across, but it's still, this is just very wet. I've just put this on, so it's going to look a bit more orange peely than it will when it's all dried. Yeah, it's pretty good. Keep forgetting I've got this side to do as well. Cool. While I'm waiting for the other side to sort of flash off a bit longer, I thought we'd do something productive. Now, racing cars have several things going on. One of them is these things and a black cross over them. Why not? They just look great, don't they? So you have to put these things on, and then put these things on, and then put these things on, and then get a bit of insulation tape and do that. I've only got one of these though. I've got a shed full of spare parts in there. Maybe I could try and nick something. Are these all the same? Will they work roughly the same? I don't know. I'm going to go and find out. So it turns out the answer to are these all pretty much the same is yes. So here's one I found outside, attached to the front of another car. And I think, do you just, and there's a hole there. Ah. Oh God. Ah. don't ask me. Don't ask me anything. I don't know, honestly. I don't know the answer. How are these supposed to go on? They go underneath there and then... I've sort of figured it out, and that looks so cool. Oh my god, this is like the last tiny little bit of insulting tape that I've got. Oh, what are the X's for? Does anybody know? Is it so if the glass smashes it stays together? I don't know, probably. Oh, it's very cold today and my fingers are starting to seize up. I don't know about you, but the Viking is really starting to take shape, isn't she? Wow, isn't he? Sorry, isn't he? What a piece of kit. How's this paint doing? Can see it's slightly starting to change colour now as it dries, which is nice. And it is looking mighty fine. I don't know if I'm going to do another coat. I'm worried about getting runs. You see, there's something starting there, I don't know. It's looking really nice and flat though. Really good. Compared to this absolute horror story over here, I mean, it's a world away, isn't it? I'm hoping this is going to be dried enough tomorrow to enable us to sand it, but I'm not massively confident. We'll see. I've just put the last sort of coat on it, or the last one for today at least, and I mean, it just looks great. I mean, this is now the finish that we're sort of dealing with here, you know, with a bit of factory sort of orange peel, which is going to probably flatten even more by tomorrow, but really, really smart, really wet, really nice, but no runs, and it's just going to look brilliant when it's done. You know, with hindsight, I would have sort of maybe done things a bit differently. Things I've learned though, I mean, obviously with the paint, that tin's less than 30 quid, there's 2.5 litres there. Maybe this is going to sort of spur me on to paint more of the cars that come through because I can do it so cheaply. You know, if this finish ends up looking quite nice and flat and all that sort of stuff, then, you know, it's a pretty cheap way to get some colour on a car. So it's got potential. There's lots of good things. I'm trying to look at the positives and not that I've just wasted 2 days. Now, I know it's sort of cost me potentially 2 days because I've still got the other side to do, but it looks amazing. It looks so good. I'm really, really pleased with that. So glad I did it. I just couldn't have driven this thing out of here in a good conscience with the paint like it is on the other side. But this is really, really nice. Really smooth, lovely finish to it. Just looks brilliant. If I wanted to do like a cut and a polish at some time in the future, I probably could. But it's a stunning glossy green and it just looks so good compared to how it looked before. And also, I have wrecked the floor a bit, but it's fine. I was going to do a little bit of painting anyway. So yeah, stripping of the masking is the most fun bit. Absolutely joyous occasion, because we get to see what it looks like underneath. And you get to really see that contrast, you know. I'm going to keep a lot of this on the car though, because I'm going to need to drape it over the side and when I do the other side. It's absolutely awesome. I'm just properly pleased with it. I mean, there's still a bit more of the transformation process to go, but I'm just totally in love with that finish. It is beautiful. I love the colour, love everything. So pleased with that. What a great machine. Done well there. Right, to celebrate, I fancy putting another sticker on. So down here, I've ordered 3 sort of vintage motor racing stickers, bit of a shopping list for the wing, you know. This is the first one that's arrived. I'm still waiting for the 3 big ones, the big number for the side and all sorts of stuff. They haven't arrived yet, and I've only got sort of 2 post days left before Sunday. Gonna measure it, line it up, or should we just completely eyeball it? Let's completely eyeball it. Oh, it looks so good! Michelin, no Jinju. Don't know how well you're going to be able to sort of see this on the camera, but the finish of the sort of rolled on and brushed on is just rotten, absolutely horrible. So I've got to get this side done. I have to do it. Car can't leave the ramp until it's done. So we need to see if it sands. The problem is it's freezing. Don't think I can see my breath, look. Absolutely freezing. So I just hope it's dry enough to sand. I really, really do. Let's get the DA out and let's just try, I don't know, this bit here, and we'll see if we can just flatten it. If I can flatten it, I can just spray over what's on there. But I just need to be able to flatten it. So let's give it a go. So you can see it is clogging up the pad a little bit, but it is going flatter, it is sanding. I'm just going to keep at it, see how quickly I can get this panel done. There's some bits of it like here that I don't really need to sand, so let's just see. Hopefully now that I've taken the shine off it with the sander, you can see what I'm trying to get rid of. So I've managed to get quite a bit of it off and sort of get it flat again, but yeah, this is what I'm trying to get rid of here. It's taking its time. I've done a little bit of this, but it's still a bit damp in places, still a bit sticky, so I'm just going to keep on trucking, you know, get down to the back and then maybe come back to here. I've sort of sanded quite a lot of it back, but it's still, everything's clinging to it because it's still that little bit damp, and you're getting these little, I don't know if you can see like there, where it's just sort of hit a bit of damp stuff, which is less than ideal. And I've got to get quite deep into it to get rid of a lot of these runs and stuff, so not ideal. I'm just burning through these discs as well, and I've been using it without this interference pad, which is helping a lot. But now that I've got sort of you know, fair bit of the chunks out, I'm going to put a brand new interference pad on, which just goes to the contour of the body a bit more, and yeah, burn through a few more discs on it. What do you reckon then? Do you reckon this is going to look okay afterwards? Who knows? There's still like bits where it was just a bit wet and I couldn't get the sanding properly, and it looks like there's still runs and stuff there, but it's going to look better, surely. And I'm running out of time. Time is not my friend at all, ever, on this YouTube channel. I need, you know, I've got one more day to do what I want to do to this car before I take it to Cars and Coffee. The first 2 coats are on, and it's, you know, it could be worse. I'm not seeing like the huge ripples and stuff and run marks and things, so I'm feeling positive that it's going to be okay. I'm just going to keep covering it in coats until I'm happy, and then I'll show you. Controversially, I'm about to drill 8 holes into the front of this car. That'll please a lot of you, won't it? To fit these. These are bonnet straps, and they work just like a belt and allow you to open and close the bonnets in the 1960s, which is when this car was from, and I think it's going to look pretty cool. Now, I've had a look, and the only real, you can't put them like that, doesn't make any sense because they flop about. The only real place you can put these things is sort of like so. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Can you believe it? I think it's going to look really smart. Here's a couple of pictures of Rover P4s that have been made to look like race cars, or are race cars, where I got my inspiration from. Interesting amount of filler that's just had to go through. Nice, 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 okay. Oh, bollocks. Okay. One. So much harder than it looks. Very cool. Just got to do these ones now, which I just thought I can't really do until I can open the bonnet. And I can't open the bonnet yet because I saw loads of wet paint over there. But I really like that. I think it's going to look awesome. The sun's out, which is helping massively with things. And just look at how well this has started to sort of truly set. I mean, straight out the gun, and it just looks insane. I'm properly pleased with that. Really, really nice and clean. Just gorgeous, gorgeous paintwork. Should do the rest of it now, shouldn't I? This side is, I mean, it's looking great. I can't be too annoyed at what I've achieved here, really, of just sort of, that you can still see bits. It's the substrate underneath, it's definitely not as well prepared as the other side, but I mean, it still looks fine. Looks absolutely fine for just a ropey old Rover, you know. Looks absolutely great. So I'm just going to let that go off now and sort of see how it looks in the end, but there's plenty of paint on there, and yeah, we'll get some nice stickers on it and stuff, and it'll look absolutely fine. I'm really enjoying this. I've got some Delfleet off-white, see that there, that I've never used, and wouldn't it be great if I could just do the rest of the car in that, because Delfleet's similar to this, like single stage stuff, but yeah, really, really interesting. Okay, cool. I just want to try and make the most of this sun, so I've pulled the masking off as quickly as I sort of can, really. And I've just driven it outside so it can sort of sit in the sun and go off instead of doing it in the cold in there. And I mean, I just love it. I absolutely love it. I wish I could do the top. If I had more time, I would. I think it looks great, and I think it's going to look awesome with some more stickers and stuff on. Really, really cool bit of kit. Absolutely love it. Adore it. So good. These as well just look super cool, don't they? And these will as well once I've got them in properly, but I've just not quite been able to yet because there's a brace underneath there that I've got to sort of make longer screws for. But yeah, it needs a bit of a wipe down. It's still like dusty and stuff everywhere, but Awesome, really, really cool. It's a bit of a bomb site in here, isn't it? Just stuff everywhere. So I've got a little bit of cleaning up to do. Had a couple of little accidents when I was mixing paint as well. But it's fine, you know, it's a place of work, isn't it? Things happen here. This is why I don't paint stuff all the time, because it can be a ball ache. Right, let me tidy everything up. We'll pull the Rover back in here and then fit the final bit of stickers. I think that sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? The Viking is really starting to turn into quite a handsome old car. Really, really loving it. Everything looks great. These look fantastic. Starting to get a little bit of purpose. Now, please pray for me that when I get home, there's going to be some stuff on the mat waiting for me, so I can get it all fitted tomorrow. So I'll see you in a few seconds. So it's now Tuesday, and unfortunately I didn't make it to Cars and Coffee for a couple of reasons. Number one, the big door stickers didn't arrive, which I really wanted on the car because I thought that would finish it off nicely. And also, this car is testing me, but I am growing to love it. That rear wheel cylinder seems to have dried up and is now working, but that one has started to come out at a rate of knots that is a bit annoying. So and then I decided to go and get really hammered on the Saturday night instead. So I wouldn't have been able to drive on the Sunday morning. Anyway, I've decided now to order another seal kit for that wheel, and we're going to have a go at sorting that one before I stump up for another wheel cylinder. And there's another job I'd like to do. If I start the car up and drive it and then switch it off and take the key out, this light stays on, right? Which is the battery light, it stays on. And I think it's possibly something to do with the whole getting rid of the dynamo and all that sort of stuff. It's just not wired totally correctly. Now, there's a couple of things I could do about that. I could leave it and just disconnect the battery and reconnect the battery every time I drive the car, but that is a ball ache, getting in and out the bonnet, don't want to do that. Or I can fit one of these. Now this is a kit where basically you put the key in and you can turn the battery on and off from outside of the car. Now race cars have to have these, and you have to put this big sticker there, and it's all just, it looks dead cool, but you need one. So I thought we'd stick it on. And then not only is it going to look dead cool, but it will mean that I don't have to open the bonnet every time I get in and out the car. And it's an added safety feature as well, because nobody's going to have that key on them to start her up. So yeah, pretty cool. The battery's here, and there is like a gap where I can get in underneath this wing and mount this onto the wing top, because there's nowhere else to put it. Usually you'd put it on the scuttle panel there, but there's just nowhere for that, so it's going to have to sort of go, I don't know, look at that bit there, that bit doesn't look particularly good, so why don't we just put it there? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Now I know you're probably thinking, oh my god, he's not going to drill a hole in that wing, is he? Well, the more I'm around this car, the more I'm starting to think that I might hold on to it for a little longer. I might hold on to it for a while. I think it'll look quite nice next to the Panhard and stuff, you know. But also, I got my racing license a few years ago, and I started building a BMW E90 racing car, and like, it was great, and I just had all the best intentions to actually go racing with it, but I found it to be quite boring. I was going to do a tin top series and all this sort of stuff, but I just found it to be just not very rewarding to sort of drive around the track, because it was so good, because BMWs are the best, that's what everybody drives them on tracks. You go to the Nürburgring, all you see is BMWs. So I thought to myself, I'll sell it and I'll look for something else, and then one day I can turn that into a race car. Now I'm not promising anything, but it could be this. Now imagine just sort of like getting this to, you know, get some new shocks on it, do a few bits, strip a bit of weight out and stuff, and then do a couple of track days in this, you know, wouldn't that be cool? And maybe start doing some other stuff like get a roll cage and things, and then, you know, eventually maybe even do some engine work and stuff. That'd be pretty insane, wouldn't it, you know? Maybe take this one out and put one in from, I don't know, a small block Chevy or something like that, from a crate motor or something. That'd be awesome. But obviously it's all very, very expensive. So let's just take our time with it, and then hopefully if you guys are enjoying what you're watching and you're hitting the subscribe button, leaving comments, likes, that sort of stuff, it's going to help my videos get a bit more reach, and then eventually I'll be able to afford to do it. I've got an amazing group of guys on the Patreon as well. Now, there is a link to that in the description above. Everything helps. It all goes towards, you know, doing cool stuff like this with cars. So anything you could do, great. But if you can't, if you don't want to spend any money, just hit that subscribe button and it will really, really help. Anyway, let's drill a hole in this vintage car. That was easy. That's now nicely installed, and if I want to start the car or switch the battery on and off, I just do that. The only problem is it's not actually attached to the battery, so I've got to do that next. Cool though, yeah? Looks pretty smart. Ha, like a real race car. Right, I've got this cable. Can I make use of it? It's incredibly straightforward to fit this thing. I've just got to essentially put this cable to one side of it, and the other cable comes out and goes into here. Couldn't really get much simpler than that. So I'll do it and then I'll show you it working. At the moment, the battery is off, and I've got these keys. I've attached one to my key ring, so I'll always have one on me if this ever like falls out or someone nicks it or something. But essentially, on, off, on, off, on, off. Magic. I've got to put a sticker there now though, and I turn that round so it sits all nicely. Lovely stuff. And the thing is as well is that to remove this, you have to turn it off, which is fantastic because I'm never going to forget to take it off, and then the battery's going to run down and stuff. So a nice job. Didn't take too long either. Nice. What a race car. I also got this in the little sticker pack, and I thought it'd look quite nice. Just there. So my plan today is to actually start using this to go home and back in and just start motoring around in it, because it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? But I can't help but sort of realise that there is 4 things on this car that don't belong. Now, a race car, any race car, there's something that it wouldn't have. Can you guess? It's these things. Now, they just, a race car wouldn't have them. It just wouldn't, because it's weight and getting to the wheel nuts and stuff. So my car's not going to have them, and I'm going to sell these on eBay and hopefully get a little bit of money back. That's going to have driven the majority of you absolutely ferociously mad, isn't it? About to head home, and I wanted to show you these gorgeous quarter lights. Never seen ones that open like this. Oh, wowee. Totally pillarless quarter lights. That is so sexy. Look at that. Absolutely adore them. Oh wow, so good. And there's one more sticker to fit as well, which goes there. Just about there. Should do it. Oh yes, perfect. Look at that. Right, fantastic. Let's hit the road. Such a lovely day, and what a gorgeous old rig. Proud to be driving her. She looks amazing, she feels amazing. What's that orange light for? Is it petrol? Must be. I'm going to stop and put some petrol in it. Okay, and she's just completely died on me. Okay, I just checked the feed from the tank, and again it wasn't doing anything, which is really frustrating. So I don't know if we've run out of petrol or if there was just nothing getting through. So I've connected it back up to the boat tank, and let's see if she'll run now. Okay, so we should have fuel coming from here at a rate of knots. So I'm going to undo this and we'll find out. I've got to go in off the boat tank, but I don't know how long for. Something's up. Let's go back to the workshop. Come on baby, just a little bit further, just round this corner, and we're there. Come on. Not far to go, come on. She's stuttering. Doesn't want to play ball. I thought we had more than enough to get to the petrol station. Maybe I was wrong. Here we are. Whoa, did you hear that? Whoa! Did you hear those bangs? Like a proper race car. Love that. Something's obviously not right though. So we have got a fuel delivery issue. Now I don't know if it's that clicky clacky pump. I bought my one with me just in case that one does give up the ghost. I've just put a can of fuel into the boat tank, and we're going to try and get to the petrol station and put a load of fuel in the actual tank and use that again. But I could have sworn there was loads in there. Anyway. So why did that just die? So the fuel doesn't seem to be getting to the carburetor, and I don't know why. Everything seems to be good, so it should be. But that is dry. That should be flying fuel out now, and it's not. Well, that was a bit annoying, wasn't it? I think maybe she really doesn't want to go on the road again. I can't get my head around what's wrong, so I'm getting fuel over there, but now it's just not starting at all. I don't know if it's potentially flooded or something, or there's a carb issue, but you know, like we've sucked a bit of crap up into the carb, something like that. But there is a filter there, so, and it looks all good, so I just don't know. I have been here before though with a little Citroen Visa that was just a constant fuel supply issue. So I'm just going to park it for today because I need to get back. I've got a few things I need to do, so I'm going to park it there for today, and when it's all cooled down and stuff tomorrow, I'm going to have a look at it again. So it's a few days later, and as you could see then, she tried to go, she ran for a few seconds, but she won't restart. But what that tells us is that all this stuff is good. What it also tells us is that the fuel side of it is bad. So I'm going to do a couple of little things. First thing is I'm going to put a fuel filter just before we go into the carb, so I can see if the fuel is pulsating through. Right, miserable bloody thing. So, I mean that's wet with petrol, so I can tell it's obviously trying to push fuel down there, but I'd like to put a little thing in there anyway, you know, just to make sure everything's all cold and wet. It's been raining. So, okay, we'll just sort of wedge these on for now, and I'll put some clips on them afterwards. I've got a fire extinguisher near me, so it's okay. Right, so let's switch the ignition on again, and you just watch this fuel filter and see if it fills up with fuel. So the good news is no, it doesn't. There's fuel, and there it goes. Took a while that though, didn't it? So now hopefully that fuel, which again it's not pumping fast enough, is it? Did you see that? What happens now? Yeah, so it should be filling that filter up like nobody's business. So we've obviously got a problem between here and there, which is good because I didn't want it to be a problem with this bit, because this bit, the rebuild kit's like 200 odd quid for that carb. So yeah, we need to find out what's wrong with this fuel system. Now, another slightly sketchy way to just sort of triple check that it is this that's an issue. Doesn't that paintwork look nice, by the way? Look how flat it's come out. It's just beautiful. So it should be fine. I don't know why it's not fine. It should be fine. It ran then, I don't know if you heard that, but it knocked the camera off. But yeah, it definitely ran with a bit of juice squirted down it, didn't it? Nothing going through there, it's running off the fuel I poured down there. So it'll stop in a second, because it's not getting anything through. So interesting. I was watching stuff happening in there, got nothing coming into there. Just very interesting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and blow back through here with an airline and see if we've got something lodged in that pipe. And I've also blown it from the other side, from the car side, through here, and lots of fuel sprayed out and stuff, which is cool. But now I'm just going to flick the pump on. I want you to tell me if that is spurting juice out. Very interesting. So yeah, it is, but let's be honest, not very well. So I've just blown that out and taken this off and blown it through there, and essentially it just doesn't work. The clicky clacker is dead, the holly is dead. I don't know if it's because it sucked some crap up and it's just not working as well as it should, but that is dead. There is another clicky clacky there, the original one on the car, so let's wire that one back up to this tank and see what happens. But I know it is clear because I've just blown this through. Right, the one that was in the car, there you go, flying out, much more consistent. Okay, let's just connect. Which side goes to the car again? I think it's that one, isn't it? And then yeah, let's find out if she pumps fuel all the way down thither. Keep your eye on that pipe. I can hear it. I can definitely hear something happening. I can see the water catch it. Yeah, there we go. Right, it's pouring through. Okay, so let's put this filter on. I'm just waiting for this filter to fill up, and it's not. I can see it just sort of like going through a little bit, but not loads. Interesting. So what happens if I disconnect that pipe now? Yeah, look, it's pouring out there. As soon as I connect it to the filter, it just doesn't want to go through the filter. The filter doesn't look blocked, should be newish. It's obviously fighting against a vacuum, but it shouldn't be. I don't want to have to do away with the filter, but I mean, the fuel does look nice and clean that's in there. I just need to get some better filters, I think, don't I? I've just connected this pipe here, new bit of pipe, no filter. Do the little Jubilee clip on there. Right then. Should be filling up the carb and the bowl and stuff now, which I think it is. WYNNE or work? Just trying it with a bit of easy start and it's still not sort of having it. Still not going. Something is blocked, isn't it, somewhere? Just want to see what these plugs look like. Absolutely fine, but no sign of fuel on them or easy start. Let's just check we got a good spark on there. Right, okay. Got no spark. What the hell? Why?
Hey?
Put no spark and it's fucking, it should have. Totally bonkers, man. Go on again for us. 12 volts at the battery. Can you put the ignition on?
Yeah, green light's on.
12 volts at the coil. 12 volts on the other side of the coil. $12 volts there. Yeah, 12 volts to that, and then not got 12 volts to that. Totally bizarre, because they should be connected. Essentially, what's happened is everything looks to be okay, but this bit here, you're getting 12 volts, but it's not, it's fucked somewhere around here, and it's not transferring the 12 volts to here where you get your spark. So that bit's 12 volts, that bit isn't. So I need to put a new set of points in it, but thankfully I've got some. Right, so it's had a new set of points. Old ones are there. Let's see if she starts. Right, try and start that now.
Try it.
That was crazy. But she's running.
Turbo lag, but we're running.
Yeah. She's a bit rough. I think I need to just gap those new points that I've put in.
Yeah.
Because I can hear it missing.
Yeah, it's if you gradually feather it in, you're all right. But if you go put it gets that lag, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, pull that choke all the way out. Try it now. Yeah, just needed some choke. So, Priest is on his way to come and exercise whatever demons this car's got. And in the meantime, I have had a word with it and just said, look, I call the shots, not you. I call the shots, not you. Because it's making me look like an idiot in front of my mates, honestly. What's going on? Now, as a treat, let's get these put on the side of the car, because I don't want to be under here anymore. I'm bored of being under there. Let's put them there. And then, the big stickers have arrived. Looks good to me. Oh yeah! This car is going to be a champion, whether it likes it or not. I need to start sort of saying to it, you know, if I say jump, it needs to be asking how high, not if I say jump, it needs to just go and sit in the corner for 4 days and not run. We need to come to an understanding, me and this car, because I'd like to spend a bit more time using it rather than just trying to fix it.
You're still with me all the time. Oh.
My Rover P4 Cafe Racer dreams have come to fruition. I absolutely love it. I properly love it. It looks so good. I just, a few foibles, you know, fuel system wise, electric, let's just get, you know, get this thing running reliably. I'm going to mess about with it tomorrow, do a few bits. I've got to change the rear wheel cylinder things that have arrived, you know, the seals. I'm going to give those a refresh, do some mechanical bits to it, just get it where I think it's going to be spot on, and then we'll take it for a little spin. Spin into town, see if we can turn some heads, you know. It's turning my head. So I've done a few bits under the engine bay of the car this morning, just to sort of tighten everything up, hopefully. And I was about to do the rear wheel cylinders, and I opened the packet, the seal kit came in, and yeah, they're the wrong ones. Great! Cars! This is Cars, welcome to Cars. So, what I've decided to do is to do what I should have done initially and spend £165 on 2 brand new rear wheel cylinders for this car. So overall, including all the seal kits and stuff that I bought and all the time, it's probably cost me more like 200 odd. But this is Cars, you know. Sometimes you've just got to take it on the chin, move on, you know. So I'm going to do that another time. But for now, I've started filming the Saab episode. So I need to go and get some parts for it. Let's take the Rover. Touch wood, she's running all right for now. So let's head down to the fuel station, petrol station. We'll chuck some petrol in this, and we'll just sort of see how she behaves on this trip into town. I really want this thing to be like a reliable, drivable car that I could just jump in and out of and use. And it is getting there, but we've just got to sort these couple of little issues out, you know. I'm not sure if that fuel pump's pushing enough through, I just don't know. This is going to be a bit of a test for it now, and I bloody hope, touch wood, we don't break down. Just approaching the petrol station now. So far so good. She's a little bit juddery, but I think now that she's sort of warmed up, that's kind of stopped. I feel a little bit juddery, I don't know quite what that is. Seems to be doing okay though, touch wood. Not, you know, we're not talking plastic veneer here either. This is the real thing. Getting lots of cool looks on the road as well. A lot of people sort of going, what the heck is that? What the hell is that? Look at that old car. Which is great. And that's the reason we do it, isn't it? We've made it to the first port of call, the station of petrol. Let's get some. We are about to enter real life traffic here. Are you nervous? Am I nervous? I'm not nervous. Okay, I'm a bit nervous. That tractor's going a bit quick for my liking. Okay, we've successfully joined traffic. So I put a load of fuel in the boat tank, I put 30 quid of fuel in this, and filled up a jerry can as well. Now I need to get some, you know, unleaded lead replacement stuff from Jim Barrows because I didn't have any then, and then we'll pour some of those in the tanks. It is stuttering though. Why are you stuttering? Don't stutter. If I put my foot down, it's fine, but it's like there's a don't know, we'll find out, we'll see how it goes. It only sort of stutters and hesitates when you're just sort of coasting. So I think it's maybe like something in the carb is a little bit dirty, like the real sort of lowest point of the needle. Maybe the dash pot is low, but I have topped the dash pot up, it should be fine. Is this guy gonna go? Under acceleration it's absolutely fine, and it's just, you know, it feels great, but just sort of coasting along, a little bit hesitant. So yeah, maybe something to look into, or just drive it, throw a few more tanks of fuel through it and see sort of if that makes any difference. I always get really nervous, you know, when you bring a car back from the brink, back from the dead, for the first few times you're out in it, you're always going to have that anxiety or that worry that it's going to break down at any moment. I mean, I've had that pickup truck of mine for like almost 4 years now, and I still get feelings every now and then that it's about to break down in the middle of nowhere or something, you know. So it does take a while before you can build that confidence up in the car. And this is only really the second time this thing's properly been on the road. But hopefully it's not going to take long to sort of work through any foibles that it's got and make it reliable, you know. Because it's a fun old car to drive, I'm enjoying it. Here we are, pulling up to the best parts place in the world, Jim Barrow's. Not sponsored by them. Probably should be, but I'm not. Absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
See ya.
See you now.
God, they're bloody heavy, aren't they? Oh, crikey. Oh, there's a seatbelt there, look. We'll pretend we didn't see that. Air filter's coming in tomorrow, but I've got the rest of the stuff. Check this out. I've only just noticed that. Can you see that there? How smart is that? This could be like the most comfortable car in the world. Amazing. Let's see if she starts and we can head back. Hey, what a beauty. Really tempted to swap the fuel tanks over, but still a bit nervous. I might swap them over and just use the car to sort of, you know, move it around for a bit and just do all that sort of stuff. Or maybe when I've got someone with me following in a car behind, then I can go and sort of, you know, swap the fuel tanks just to check. And there wasn't any Red X in there either, and it wasn't any lead replacement, so gotta wait for that. Right, onwards. I'm back, and it was, apart from that little bit of hesitation, which seems to be getting better, it was perfect. What a joy to drive. The amount of smiles and just like, wow, look at that I saw from people was brilliant. I'm in love. I love it. I'm going to keep it. Okay? I'm going to keep it. It's a functioning member of society, and I think it's going to look good next to the truck. Two classic cars there that I've got that are sort of, you know, road ready. This one still needs a couple of bits. I've got to do those rear brake cylinders. The horn stopped working. The indicators are, I don't think work, but I'm not sure. A few more little jobs that I can be getting on with in my own time. But the bones of it is there. And the fuel tank, I've got to play with that, you know. But the bones of it are there. And I just think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I've just enjoyed every minute of it. What a cool looking car. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this sort of bonus episode, you know, as we sort of get, you know, a few more bits done and get it to this point of being able to drive it to Jim Barrow's, get a load of parts and drive it back again. A lot of fun. That's what I wanted out of this car. Something that I can just jump in and drive, you know. And if you have enjoyed it, please, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Leave me a like, comment, tell me what you think of it, what you think of this transformation. Because do you remember what it looked like before? It was pretty bad. You know, it was really rough. And look at it now. I think it looks amazing. It's exactly what I wanted, you know. My sort of cafe racer tribute. Really, really pleased with that. Right, she's earned a place in the workshop. So I'm going to put her to bed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. This is the most important thing, isn't it?
It is.
For me, anyway. I want to have like 100 scores on this board one day, going all the way up to the top. That'd be dead fun, wouldn't it? I'd use like a rope and pulley system. Right, the Rover P4 100 from 1962. Is it here? Is it here? That's 1969, so it could be. Is it here? No.
Setting the lowest end of the benchmarking.
17.8 seconds and 60, which, do you know what, is not bad, is it?
For a girl that's what? How old is she now? 60 something years
62
old?
years old, yeah.
That is pretty good, isn't it?
It's pretty good, and you can, you know, so it's called 100 because it's supposed to have 100 horsepower. So, and it weighs a lot.
Definitely have more grunt than the Copin.
Yeah, it felt like it was much faster than the Copin, and it was we did 80 mile an hour in it, just so, I mean 70 mile an hour officer, and it was fine. It was great. Thanks very much for watching this tiny little bonus episode. Bye.
Catch you later.